City of Lawrence Common Council mid-month meeting, April 17th, 2019, is now called to order. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for our many blessings. We're grateful for this evening, and we're grateful for our policemen, our firefighters, and we're grateful for this council, and we ask that you'll bless us, that we'll use the wisdom we have to make the best decisions we can. And we ask that you'll bless us as we disperse from here, that we'll leave in safety. These things we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So we have a quorum. Next on the agenda, comments of council members, special recognitions or resolutions. Are there any? And first, let me start by calling Chief Batalis down.
First of all, thank you for giving us a few minutes to start. And I don't mean to turn my back on you, but I don't know how I can speak where I can talk to everyone. Tonight's kind of a special night for us, and I thank the council for allowing us a few minutes to recognize a couple of folks in here. I've been around for a long time, and people all the time, police and fire are always at each other. It's in a joking way. Even though they cheat a little bit in the wing eat contest, everybody still gets along. That goes for you too. But there's a lot of joking goes on, but in all seriousness, when I called a public safety team, it truly is a public safety team. There are so many runs, car accidents, overdoses, that there's a lot of joint effort. Something happened in December. Chief Hardy's going to read a few words, and we're going to recognize two officers in here, but not that those words aren't heartfelt and the truth, but the bottom line, this whole thing is, on December 17th, we had a second alarm fire at Benjamin Court. It's one of the largest fires we've had in the history of Lawrence, and I can tell you without any hesitation that the two officers' actions that day, there's two things minus from that fire: fatalities and injuries. And if it wasn't for these two officers going way beyond the call of duty, I'm telling you, this outcome could have been a lot worse. So this is just a very small token that the fire department wants to relay to our brothers in the police department. Chief Hardy, if you want to come up. But I just want to tell you, like I said, these words mean a lot, but I'm just telling you that anybody who was at that fire or saw it, this outcome, there's no way somebody could look at that and say somebody didn't die in that fire or would be severely injured. So we're grateful that those two officers teamed up with us and performed the job they did.
Can I have Officer Joshua Wise and Sergeant Tracy Easterday come up, please? On the early afternoon of 12/17/18, Lawrence Fire Department responded to a possible fire at a large 55 and over assisted living facility at 9404 Bowling Green Way. While on routine patrol, Lawrence Police Department Sergeant Tracy Easterday and LPD Patrolman Joshua Wise observed smoke and drove directly to the scene. On the arrival of Sergeant Easterday, he encountered a large fire emanating from the southeast corner of the building and many occupants attempting to escape of the structure. Knowing that there would possibly be many more elderly occupants still inside, Sergeant Easterday heroically ran up to the third floor, instructing people to exit the building by the opposite stairwell as he made his way forward toward the fire. Encountering deteriorating smoke conditions and without the aid of breathing apparatus, Sergeant Easterday managed to evacuate the entire third floor before having to exit himself due to the rapidly moving smoke and fire. At the same time, Patrolman Joshua Wise had entered the building to the second floor, simultaneously evacuating residents, encountering smoke conditions as well. Patrolman Wise found a male resident who was confined to a wheelchair and had to act quickly to assist the gentleman to the stairwell. With the assistance of LFD medics and with the needed equipment, Patrolman Wise bravely carried the man down the stairs and safely evacuated the fire building. For their quick response and their extraordinary level of composure, these two brave officers displayed while functioning in one of our largest fires in the city. And for the many lives that they individually saved that day, we proudly recognize Sergeant Tracy Easterday and Patrolman Joshua Wise with the Lawrence Fire Department Foundation.
And like I said, this is a very small token, and it said City of Lawrence Fire Department proudly recognizing Sergeant Tracy Easterday for quick response, extraordinary level of composure, and the saving of many lives while functioning at the Benjamin Court Apartments fire, one of the largest fires in the city's history. This is going to be a tough one now. The City of Lawrence Fire Department proudly recognizes Officer Joshua Wise for quick response, extraordinary level of composure, and the saving of many lives while functioning at the Benjamin Court Apartments fire, one of the largest fires in the city's history. We'd like to also present you this, and thank you. No. Yeah. No. Yeah, the bottom line is, we know you guys want to be firefighters, but we'll keep it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any comments of council members?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilor Jones?
first of all, I'd like to give kudos to those two police officers. I've known Sergeant Easterday for a long time, and that's the first time I've ever seen him really hug anyone, so that was kind of funny to see. On a more of a serious note, I got a call from someone at 12463 Doe Lane on their driveway where the concrete is coming away from the asphalt where they can barely enter, and I'm going to be contacting DPW on that. Also, in our last meeting, we talked about the interlocal agreement, and I was wondering if that was signed on April 11th, which we talked about. And then also for the last several months, I've asked for an action plan at Canterbury Apartments so that we can hold them accountable. And then the last thing, if I could have a little leeway here, we have a young man, Connor Altman, if he could stand for a second. He is standing because he's trying to get a merit badge for being here tonight. So I just wanted to recognize him. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, Connor. Any other counselors?
Madam President,
Counselor Wells?
thank you. At the last meeting, Chief Hoffman gave us answered some of the questions that I'd been asking for some time about the animal shelter and where exactly it stood and what was going on, if anything, with it. And I wasn't really prepared because I wasn't expecting his presentation that night because I don't remember it being on the agenda. However, to all the people that have called me at home on my cell phone that wasn't allowed to respond at that time anyway, but very quickly I would like to address just a few of my concerns with the comments. And one of the things that was said that was a $50,000 money that the council refused the administration. Just for the record, as my memory serves, the building on Shadeland Avenue that was already set aside to be the shelter had already been given to the Redevelopment Corporation, and that $50,000 wasn't really going to put a roof over any homeless animals. It was just going to be for a study. And to me, that seemed a little pointless, $50,000 for a study, when we then give the building away. I mean, it's kind of a crazy analogy, but it's kind of like buying a truckload of furniture after you done sold your house. And I just didn't see the point. And I was, for all those that called me, I did, yes, vote against that $50,000 for the budget. And one of the other things the chief said was that they were working with local veterinarians to shelter homeless animals on a temporary basis. And I would like to know if he could either email me or after the meeting tell me who these veterinarians may be, because I know my veterinarian, he won't allow animals in his shelter unless he knows positive that they are vaccinated and all on their shots, because he has a responsibility to all the other animals that are in there. So, once again, for the people that had expected this shelter, I have certainly tried. I still am on board with it. It definitely doesn't seem to be a concern, at this point. But I will also say to the administration that the day that the chief gave that bit of information to us, Indianapolis Indy Humane had put a plea out on Facebook that they were buying cages to put in the aisles because they were just completely overfilled. And so just, as a point, every animal that we have surrendered for just the $10 that supposedly, I guess, we're paying to surrender these dogs and cats, we're just adding to that overpopulation. And, I still don't see that that problem should be given to somebody else, that we should deal with that ourselves. We got plenty of people in this city that want to do it, that want to volunteer to do it, and I think they should be allowed to do it. Thank you for that time.
You're welcome. Any other counselors? Okay, seeing none. Next on the agenda is signing of vouchers, approval of claims, and authorization of payment. Is there a motion?
I make the motion.
Motion, Counselor Freeman. I'll second it. Second, Counselor Chavis. Any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Counselor Wells?
me again. I have a few questions. I see we do have someone from the administration in the audience tonight. These are very simple. There was a payee for a pothole fill of $2,838.60 dated 4/17/19, invoice 122470. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just curious, is that for a week worth of pothole fill, or was that for a month? Do you have any idea what the duration of time that we used $2,800 worth of a pothole fill? Because honestly, I would think in my neighborhood, we could go through that like quick. But my street looks like it's been strafed by a jet fighter. But another question I had was number source 19142 dated 4/17/19 for individual by the name of Amanda Jarrett Wright for $1,000. I was wondering if I could get an explanation possibly on that. And on number source 19119 dated 4/17/19, I believe this individual was the mayor's former secretary, Julie Coca-Cola, for $600. And I was wondering if I could get an explanation on that, please. And I'm done.
Can you refer to the page numbers of those?
Sure. Page number, the pothole fill, I gotta hold this back here a minute, was 4 of 8.
Well, on that particular one, I'll have to get back to you on the time frame because I do not know off the
Okay, that'd be
top of that
fine.
one.
I mean, like I said, I'm just curious, how far that stuff goes, and, I just know we've got a lot of potholes need to be filled, and I was just, trying to relate, how much of that and how long or how quickly in time frame that these potholes are being done. The other one, excuse me, page 3 of 8, and then the other one was page 6 of 8.
The $600 on page 3 of 8, Ms. Coca-Cola left the employment of the city, but she is being retained for a short period of time to train her replacement, and that's the fee for that service.
Okay. And then the one for $1,000, please.
What page was that on, please?
6 of 8.
Yes, and that is the consultant we've had for the farmer's market that we've had now for the last 3 years, so that's her
Okay.
monthly fee.
Just curious, this one for the secretary and their training of replacement, would that not have fallen under normal wages instead of just a check for,
If she were an employee, yes, but she's no longer an employee.
so apparently she didn't do the training while she was still an employee, she came
Was
back
not able
after the
to do
fact?
that while she was employed here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Controller Fenwick. Any other discussion? So we have a motion, Counselor Freeman, second, Counselor Chavis. All in favor by show of hands? Unanimous? Next, we have unfinished business. There is none. New business. There is none. We're adjourned.